Imagine you're on the road driving your car and suddenly your car started to like stop tapos biglang umusok yung kanyang hood. You know na your car is overheating. So ano yung mga gagawin mo when you notice that? Well, basically, you will do your best to cool down your car. Kasi hindi mo pwedeng patakbuhin yung kotse mo na yon na ganong kainit yung kanyang makina. So, if that car cannot function well under a super high temperature, ganun din po pagdating sa hayop. So, the animal cannot function well when it is super high in its body temperature. At the same time, it cannot function well kapag super low yung body temperature niya. Making the body temperature regulatory system of the animal an important system as well. So ngayon, ang pag-uusapan natin is this specific topic. We will be talking about body temperature regulation in animals. We will be comparing homeotherms versus poikilotherms animals and what are the mechanisms that farm animals do basically to control when the temperature is too high or to control their body temperature when the temperature is too low. So, una natin pag-uusapan ngayon is to differentiate these two types of animals in relation to temperature regulation. What are homeotherms and what are poikilotherms? Okay? Now, simply put, homeotherms and poikilotherms is the technical term for what we call as warm-blooded and cold-blooded animals. Ang difference ng dalawa na ito, to simplify, is that yung mga homeotherms natin, yung mga warm-blooded animals natin, these are the examples. They can maintain a constant internal body temperature kahit na nagbabago yung temperature ng kanilang external environment. Whereas yung mga poikilotherms, we also call it as your cold-blooded animals, ang body temperature nila vary with the temperature in their environment. So yun yung main na difference between homeotherms and poikilotherms. Right now, what we're going to do is to dive deep between these two types of animal, and we will start by discussing homeotherms. Homeotherms are the masters of temperature regulation. Bakit natin sila tinatawag na masters of temperature regulation? Because they can maintain a stable environment within their body kahit na nagbabago yung environment sa labas ng kanilang katawan. Okay? Why? Kasi meron silang internal physiological mechanisms katulad na lamang ng shivering, sweating, panting, and metabolic heat production. Ano-ano yung mga examples ng homeotherms? Most of our farm animals, including cattle, goat, sheep, poultry like chickens, duck, and turkeys, are all warm-blooded animals. They are homeotherms. How does this homeotherms regulate their temperature? Ano yung mechanisms of thermoregulation nila? First off, they produce metabolic heat. Ang mga homeotherms, they can generate heat internally through the process of metabolism. And saan nangyayari yan? Doon sa mitochondria ng cells. Ito yung reason kung bakit yung mga poultry and livestock natin, they require nutrient-dense diet. Okay? Dapat napapakain sila ng tama with the proper carbohydrates, with the proper protein and fat. This is in order to sustain yung high metabolic rate ng kanilang katawan. Another mechanism that they use to control their temperature is through insulation, like furs, feather, and fat layers. For example, in cold environments, may mga cattle na nagde-develop ng thicker fur. Okay? Or they store more subcutaneous fat para ma-insulate sila laban sa lamig ng kanilang environment. For chickens, they have feathers. Ano yung purpose ng feathers na yun? It is to trap heat, lalo na kapag malamig ang environment. Another process that they use is through evaporative cooling. That is sweating and for some animals, panting. Ang mga cattle and horses, they do sweat. So kapag masyadong mainit, sila'y nagpapawis to cool the body down. That's evaporative cooling. However, for some animals like chicken and pigs, wala silang sweating mechanism. So what they do is they pant. Okay? So nilalabas nila yung kanilang dila, and through the process of evaporation, lumalamig din basically yung kanilang katawan. And we also have the process of vasodilation and vasoconstriction. Yan yung pagbuka and pagconstrict, okay, ng blood vessels. So kapag mainit, what happens is yung blood vessels sa katawan ng hayop nagdadilate yan. We call that vasodilation. Ibig sabihin, bumubuka yan. Bakit siya bumubuka? Kasi yung blood vessel kailangan niyang mag-release ng heat. So kapag mainit, nagkakaroon ng vasodilation sa blood vessels. Kapag naman malamig, nagkakaroon ng vasoconstriction. So parang nag-shrink naman yung blood vessels. Why? Nag-shrink siya in order to retain or conserve heat. If you are a homeothermic animal, ano yung advantage nun para sa'yo? First off, stable ang yung metabolism. Consistent ang growth, consistent ang reproduction, and productivity. Specifically, very important for livestock. Another important advantage would be you are adaptable to different climates. Considering na in relation to poultry and livestock, considering na proper yung management, kaya nilang mag-survive to any kind of environment. And at the same time, higher ang activity level. That is to say, kahit na malamig yung condition, they are still active, they are still growing. So yun ang deeper discussion on homeotherms. Now, punta naman tayo dun sa kabilang klase ng animal we call as poikilotherms, or your cold-blooded animals. And these animals are masters of energy conservation. Why? Kasi itong mga hayop na to, yung body temperature nila, nag-iiba-iba as the external environment changes. So instead of them using internal metabolic heat, ang ginagawa nila, ina-absorb nila yung heat from their surroundings. Anong mga example niyan? Fish and reptiles, katulad ng frog, lizard, turtle, crocodile, and even insects are all poikilotherms. Ano naman yung way nila for thermoregulation? How do they regulate their internal body temperature? First, they are doing some behavioral adaptations. Like for example, kapag mababa ang temperature, yung mga tilapia, nagsuswim yan doon sa area ng tubig na naaarawan or warmer water area. For crocodiles naman, kung mapapansin nyo, nagbabask sila under the sun sa umaga in order to raise their body temperature. Another mechanism is that they do metabolic adjustment. That is to say, when it's cold, bumabagal din yung kanilang paglaki. Kaya sa mga fish farmers, sa mga fishermen, they will notice na yung feeding rate ng mga fishes will significantly drop kapag malamig yung kapag nasa bare months na or malamig na yung months during that time. They can also tolerate temperature extremes. Okay? Kung ang mga warm-blooded, they expend energy to regulate body temperature, ang mga poikilotherms, nagtinitipid nila yung energy nila. They can survive with minimal energy use. So ito yung way nila to regulate their temperature. And ano naman ang advantage kung ikaw ay isang cold-blooded animal? First off, mababa yung energy needs mo. Bakit mababa? Kasi hindi mo kailangan for any kind of metabolism. At the same time, dahil mababa yung energy needs mo, efficient rin yung feed conversion. Right? Efficient yung pagkain mo in relation to what your physiological needs may. And to sum up, ito yung difference between homeotherms and poikilotherms para lang makita natin in a summarized form. So in terms of body temperature regulation, ang mga warm-blooded, internally regulated, whereas ang mga cold-blooded animals, they are influenced externally. Anong mga example ng homeotherms? Cattle, poultry, pigs. Whereas poikilotherms, you have fish, reptiles, and insects. Ang metabolism ng mga homeotherms is mataas and constant. Ang mga poikilotherms naman, variable and depende sa temperature. Dahil mataas ang metabolism ng mga warm-blooded animals, in terms of energy requirements, mataas din po ang kailangan nilang kainin. Okay, dapat nutrient dense din. Whereas for cold-blooded animals, they eat less in cold months. Growth and productivity, steady yan sa mga warm-blooded animals kasi nga may internal metabolism na nangyayari within them. Whereas for poikilotherms, kapag malamig, medyo bumabagal yung kanilang paglaki. Climate adaptation, ang mga homeotherms, they are more adaptable, pero kailangan pa rin nila ng mga thermoregulation mechanisms and you still need to manage their housing, to manage their habitat, in order for them to grow and not get sick. Whereas for poikilotherms, they require optimal external conditions. Now, pagdating sa usapin ng animal science, alin ang mas mahalagang pag-aralan dito? Homeotherms or poikilotherms? Well, since we are agri-students and we are dealing with farm animals, we are more likely to talk about or to discuss or to brainstorm about homeotherms. So, ayun ang pag-uusapan natin. We will dive deeper on the thermoregulation in farm animals.
Magtitake ka ba ng licensure exam for agriculturists this year? If yes, I believe my course is for you. Enroll now at Learning Agri Withal modular course by clicking the link below. Ano pang hinihintay mo? Mag-enroll ka na. Samahan kita mag-review. Bye!